Welcome to Ina Knits. I'm Ina and I'm coming to you from the central part of Norway where I live, and this is my podcast about yarn and knitting, two of my biggest passions here in life. I also am very interested in spending time outdoors and go for hikings and stuff like that, and I often, or almost always, include some footage from those hikes at the very end of the podcast episodes. I think I've done that for like almost 30 episodes now, and this is the first time I've actually told you in advance that you are going to get some glimpses from the Norwegian nature in this episode, and I always stuck it right at the end of the episode. Okay, I have tried to record this episode for at least a couple of weeks now, but September has been a super hectic month for me. I have been traveling for the past 3 weekends, and I am working a lot more hours now than just some months ago. So I don't have any days off during the week, and in addition to that, in the evenings, the daylight is disappearing around 7 o'clock now, so it's hard to record a really decent episode during the evenings. I need to figure out the lighting situation, because it would be nice to spend or to be able to record during nights as well. But today I managed to squeeze in a good hour. Today it's Sunday, it is September 29th, and we're almost into October. That's pretty crazy. But I think that autumn or fall is my favorite time of the year. It's I love the cool weather, I love the fresh air and all the colors, of course, and I actually like that we can put on some thicker clothes and spend or use our knitwear again, and yeah, I really like that about fall. Today I'm wearing one of my hand knit sweaters. This is the Tara sweater. It is a pattern by Arnhild Skatveit, and I really love this one. It is a top-down raglan pullover, knit with one strand of thin wool and one strand of mohair, silk mohair. I finished this sweater during the summer, and I have been wearing it a lot. It's super comfy, and yeah, I love it. I'm definitely going to knit another one in another color. Yes, I have some finished knits to show you. Not much, but a couple of little finished ones, and I have quite a lot on my needles. I have a giveaway, and I'm going to draw a winner for the giveaway, and I'm also going to talk to you about knit along that I have been planning to start on October 1st, which is only a couple of days away. So let's jump in. My first finished object is a pair of socks. They are knit out of Countess of Lace. This is sock blank, which was hand dyed, and it was part of monthly club subscription a couple of years ago. And there's something about these colors that really makes me so happy. The combination of the tealish blue and the burnt orange and the magenta. Ooh, these colors are so beautiful. Oh, I love them. I knitted these 2 at a time on a long circular needle using the magic loop method. I knit down from the top down to just about above the ankle or heel last fall, and then I kind of forgot about them, and they were kind of lost during my move earlier this year, and I picked them back up this summer, and I have knitted from the heel and down to the toe during the last weeks, and they were just so enjoyable to knit. And this is all that I got left of the sock blank. Not much. It was a double knit sock blank, meaning that you pull 2 strands from the blank, and that is basically why I chose to knit them 2 at a time. So super pleased with the socks. I have already worn them once and are going to keep them myself then, obviously. So I have a tiny finished object to show you, and it is Potholder. This is like, you know, I was in desperate need of a potholder. So I pulled out my cotton yarns and I knitted a potholder. Basically, I was kind of inspired by Amy, who has the Stranded Dye Work podcast. She has been knitting a lot of dishcloths this summer, and she was knitting a pattern that I didn't have access to the pattern, but just by looking at her dishcloths, I kind of figured out a way to knit a potholder in the similar way. You know, knit on the bias, kind of. I started with 3 stitches and I've increased in both ends to a certain size, and then I decreased after that, and I just crocheted a little loop so that I can hang it in my kitchen. I have held 4 strands of rather thin cotton yarns together, and I knit them on 6mm needle. So this is just the perfect thickness, so I can easily handle everything hot coming from my stove. And yes, I have already used it a couple of times, so some pizza there. Need to wash it soon though. So yeah, it took me, I don't know, a couple of hours, something like that, to finish. If you have been watching my previous episodes, you know that I finished the Weekender sweater by Andrea Mowry some weeks ago, and I wasn't too happy about the outcome of the sweater, so I was a little bit down due to that. It's super boring to spend hours and hours knitting a sweater, and when you're not happy with the fit and how it turns out. So I needed to give myself a little treat, and I have been wanting to knit the Loppa cardigan, or I guess it's called Loppa in Norwegian. It's the Flea Cardigan. It's a pattern by Pinne Guri, who is a brilliant Norwegian knitting designer. And I have tried to cast this cardigan on 2 or 3 times previously, but I didn't enjoy how the colors played together, or I used my first attempt was using alpaca yarn, and the color work of the thin alpaca was hideous. I couldn't live with how that turned out, so I ripped that out, and I have ripped out every single attempt since then. But now I think I found my color combination and my yarns. I'm very happy with how it looks so far. This green, it's almost, I would call it emerald green. This is kind of the basis of the colors that I chose for the yoke. Okay, let me start off by telling you the main construction here, if you haven't already seen or heard about the Loppa cardigan. It is a top-down colored yoke, or stranded color work yoke cardigan. And so this is obviously the top of the cardigan, and then I'm soon about to divide for sleeves, and this center part here is going to be steeked, and then I'm going to knit button bands on each side at the end. So yes, so this emeraldish green is a yarn that I bought in Helsinki. It's a Finnish yarn. I can't recall the name of the brand of the yarn right now, but I have created a project page on Ravelry, so if you're interested in the details, please head over there and take a look. My Ravelry name is inapina, and I also have an Instagram profile which is called ina.knits. So if you're interested in following me on social medias, please do. So anyway, this whole thing is made out of 100% wools in like thin fingering weight, non-superwash wools, and all of these colors are from my stash. So that was one of the important things for me, was to make this not a stash buster, but I really try to knit things out of the yarns that I have already. So 3 of these contrasting colors was just thin non-superwash wools that I had in my stash. They are quite similar to Host Super Soft or Black Hill Highland Wool from Garnet Solg. So something in that range. Yeah. So I'm super excited about the beginning of this sweater. I think it turns out great, and in some way these colors are I don't know, I really like them, but they are they're kind of something that I wouldn't necessarily go for, and I think that's a bit exciting, that I'm a little bit out of my comfort zone. But yes, I love them so much, and I decided that I'm not going to knit these little dots all over the body of the cardigan. I think that the contrast between the green and it's a very, very pale pink. I think the contrast is a bit too much. So decided not to continue with the fleece. I picked up my son's blanket, which is a mitered square blanket, and it is knit out of scrap yarn basically, and I have quite a lot of these ones, which is the remains of a mini advent calendar from Opal. And I have mixed these Opal yarns together with other leftovers in my stash. And it is turning out quite big. I think that I have the width already that I'm going for. Now I'm working on the length or the heights. And the last time I showed you, I think this was my very last square. And then after the green one I have knitted these 2, and I started on from the green one here, red one, and I've knitted the top row all the way to here, and now I have started on another row. And as you can see, these squares are knit with this dark grey or charcoal color. I knit the first 5 rows in the dark color, and then I changed to the scrap yarn color and finished the mitered square with the scrap yarn. So that's basically it, and it gives a very nice framing to the scraps. It's a really nice effect. And I got a lot of great feedback from you. So many of you was excited about how I knit this scrap yarn blanket. And I got a question what my plans are when it comes to this side of the blanket, which obviously don't have the framing ready yet. And I think that I'm just going to pick up stitches. I'm not quite decided on how I'm going to do it yet, but I will definitely pick up stitches maybe 1 square at a time, and then knit 5 rows and bind off, and then pick up 5 stitches and do the same. Maybe that's the way, or maybe I will do 2 squares at a time and knit across 2 squares. So I'm not sure, but and I have to do the same on the top, because the top row is going to look like this, so it needs a border of some kind to finish it off. And I'm very pleased about one thing when it comes to this square, or this blanket, and that's the fact that I have secured every single end already. I've knitted all the ends into the blanket, so that means when I'm finished with the blanket, all I need to do is trim off the ends. I don't need to sew in anything, and that makes it so much easier. When you're done, you're done, huh? That's great. Good job. So that's that. I also have a new pair of socks on the needles, and this sock yarn has been laying in my stash for I think it's almost 2 years. The intention was to knit them for Halloween, because these are not my colors at all, but I somehow felt like having a pair of Halloween socks. So they are going to be like this. It's the Regia Perfect Arden Carlos design line, color number 9093. And this is the status of the first sock. It creates kind of a fake stranded colorwork pattern. Yes, and the cuff will be super long. The leg will be super long, because if you can see on the picture here, there's a rather long section of orange with dots before you are going to knit in the heel, and I haven't even started on the dot section yet, so maybe you're talking about knee highs, I don't know. But if I'm going to have them completed by Halloween, I need to crack them out now. So that's why I started knitting on these. I have also picked back up a shawl that I started a long time ago. All these old whips, huh? I'm in the middle of a row. Isn't that typical? It always happens. Oh, I think that I showed you this shawl whip in my episode in June, when I kind of showed you all the things that I had been knitting on for the last 6 months, basically. And this was casted on during Christmas, and I just knitted down to the top of the crosses here, and then I wasn't sure about the color combination, whether the contrast was too low, but when I picked it back up, I kind of started to enjoy the colors again. I think the combination of this rather cold grayish brown is so nice together with the pink. This shawl is called the Golden Hour. It is a shawl by Ravelry, and I will see if I can find a picture here. So this is it. I am knitting all stash yarn, and I'm going to show you. So these are all pinks that I have in my stash in DK weights, and my plan is to use them all. Or at least I'll see how far I get with these. So I'm now knitting with this one, and then I think I will continue with the paler pink, and then go to this deeper pink again. And if I need to, I will finish off with this kind of burgundy red. It turns out so bright on the screen, but it's much more muted than it shows on my screen, at least. And this is my main color, number 1. And at some point on section 2 I will use this, which is more of a lighter brown taupe color. So and if I didn't say so, this is knit out of DK weight on 4.5mm needles. So it's growing. It's growing fast. And I think it will become a great shawl for fall and winter. The last thing that I have been knitting on since the last episode is the wrap. Let me show you. This is going to be a long scarf, or it's called a wrap, but it's kind of a scarf. It's super thin. It's knit with pure silk, which is a blue yarn, and the other one is silk mohair. So these are the yarns. It's super luxurious and plush and lovely and nice. They are both from Ito. And this wrap is knit for a friend, and I knit on this stole or wrap or scarf or whatever almost monogamously for a couple of weeks, due to the reason that I was going to meet my friend. It is now 2 weekends ago. We were going on a trip together, and I wanted to give this to her because it's, as I said, supposed to be a gift. And I thought that I was going to be able to finish it by that time, but it takes a lot of time to knit on 3mm needles, and the silk yarn is quite it doesn't glide off the needles as easily, and the silk mohair, I don't know, you need to pay extra attention to make sure that the thread is not slipping off. I just finished this part, and this is about 2 weeks worth of knitting time. So I still have like 1 meter and 80 centimeters to go, or 70, I don't know. At least 1.5 meter left. That's a lot of knitting. So I washed and blocked this part. It has now been it's now not as nice now, but I blocked it as I would with a finished knits, and I wrapped it up and gave it to her so that she could have an idea of how it's turning out. And she really liked it, and was so grateful that I did the effort of trying to knit her something. She's not a knitter herself, so that's basically why I do this for her. She's a very good friend though, and very knit-worthy. So yeah, maybe I can finish it before Christmas. Maybe not. I'm not sure. We shall see. Yes, that's everything that I had on my needles. No, that's not true. I have many other things on my needles, and but I only showed you what I have been working on lately. I am going to host a knit along starting October 1st on Tuesday. I hope that this episode will come up before that, but I'm going to start knitting the Siggy shawl by Hohi Locatelli. And this is how it looks. It is a beautiful lace shawl knit out of fingering weight yarn. It consists of 2 sections. They are repeated throughout. It is 1 lace section and 1 garter stitch section. And I love the texture. I think it's beautiful. And it is a shawl that requires 200 grams of fingering weight yarn. And the original shawl is knit with just 1 colorway throughout. But I have decided to use my lovely yarn from Verbit. This is called Strössel. It translates to sprinkles in English, and it is, I think it's a lamb's wool, isn't it? No, it's 100% wool, non-superwash from Norsk Kvitsau. Norsk Kvitsau nå begynner jeg å snakke norsk. Now I started. Okay, I will continue in English. It is Norwegian white sheep, and it is a sport weight, and it's only 315 meters. But I think it will work out well with another yarn, because I only have one hank of this. So at first I thought of combining it with another white or neutral skein of some kind, but I couldn't find the right one in my stash, and I really want to use stash yarn. So now I think I've landed on this combination. And this is a whole super soft yarn. The color is called Sweet Pea, and this is more like a light fingering. And my thought is to use the sprinkles yarn in the garter stitch section, and to use this one in the lace sections. What do you think? Will it work? I think so. I hope so. So yeah, I have 2 of these, and that's plenty. So will you be joining me? My plan is to start on October 1st and then continue knitting the shawl throughout this fall. And I don't think it's very important that we finish before Christmas. Maybe we can say that the knit along is ending on New Year's Eve, just to give you enough time to complete the shawl. I don't want this to be a stress knit. It's supposed to be an enjoyable, lovely knit for the fall evenings. Yeah, so that's my plan, and I would love it if you would participate and knit the shawl together with me. I already know that I will have great prizes in this knit along. I have one prize sponsor already. I will let you know more details about that later. And yes, depending on how many who joins in, I will also contribute with prizes. So I will start with creating a chapter thread in my Ravelry group. The group is called Ina Knits, and it can be found by searching the groups tabs on Ravelry. And it has been quite inactive during these past months, but I would really love it if you would like to share your plans with this shawl and anything else regarding this knit along in the chapter thread, and we can have some communication going on there. And if you'd like to post about it on Instagram, I will create a hashtag for the knit along and put it here on the screen and also in the info box below this video here on YouTube. So please join in on the knit along. It is super fun to knit together with you guys. And lastly, I have to pick a winner for the giveaway of the podiversary giveaway that I announced on my last episode. And the winner will get this lovely bundle of yarn from Inapina. It is not sponsored. I have purchased this bundle myself, and I'm giving it away to one lucky winner to free up some space in my stash. It is lamb's wool. It is consisting of 6 50-gram hanks of gorgeous fingering weight lamb's wool from Norway in this beautiful wine-ish colored gradient set. I had 489 entries on my video on YouTube, and in addition to that, I had 2 entries on email, and I got a couple of comments because some of you seem to have a problem finding the comment sections below the video. There is an excellent tutorial on how to comment on YouTube videos and all the other functions around interaction with YouTubers or videos that you like or whatever on YouTube. And that tutorial is on the Nordic Stitches YouTube channel, and I'm going to link to that tutorial in the info box, which you can find just below this video here on YouTube. And I really recommend you to check that out, because it's a very good information-based tutorial on all the functions that are integrated in the YouTube channels and the videos and etc. So please take a look at Lili's very good tutorial there. So anyway, I had 489 comments and 2 additional comments on email. That gives a total of 491, and when I generate a number I get 166. Okay, who is number 166? And number 166 is... Hi there! Oh, I was about to announce the winner of the giveaway, and then the battery pack on my camera died. I didn't have time to finish off recording after the battery had charged again, because then I went out to watch my little son play his first soccer game, and then we ate dinner, and then I had to put him to bed, and now it's dark out, and I had to put on the lamp in this room to have enough light to show you the rest of the content of the podcast. So the winner was post number 166, and that was Marit Kolåsæter Bjørkmo. Congratulations! Thank you so much for participating, all of you. I loved reading all of your comments. It was so heartwarming for me to read about how or when you found my podcast, and a little bit about kind of your thoughts or relationship, I guess, with my podcast. It seems strange, but in a way that's kind of how this works, isn't it? Because you all feel that you know me, and it is so nice for me to read something about you too. So thank you for all the nice comments and the lovely words about me and this podcast, and I'm so happy and grateful that so many of you have found my little corner of YouTube and seem to like it. And all the best and congratulations to Marit. So please, when you see this, Marit, please send me either a message on Ravelry or on Instagram, or even shoot me an email and let me know your address, and I will ship the Nina Petrina yarn off to you as soon as I can. So that was the giveaway, and after I stopped recording earlier today, I have been thinking about my yarn choice for the Siggy shawl, and I had to pull out the remains of my the remaining hank of Brooklyn Tweed Loft that was left after I knit the Weekender sweater. What do you think about this combination? Will it work? And I'm still thinking about using the speckled yarn for the garter stitch and the grayish color for the lace sections of the shawl. Okay, so this was the color that I originally showed you, and then this is the postcard. So please leave a comment below this video and let me know what you think. Either the Brooklyn Tweed Loft or the whole Super Soft. Or maybe you have a completely different idea. I will be very grateful for some good input on this choice. I believe that's everything I plan to share with you today. I'm very happy that I managed to squeeze in a little episode for you before September came to an end. I'm still very much trying to, or wishing to, getting back to that bi-weekly schedule that I used to have. It seems to be a bit hard for me nowadays, but I'll try my best to get the frequency up. I hope to see many lovely Siggy shawls on the needles, and I will keep you posted about my yarn choice over at my Instagram account, so stay tuned for that. Whether you choose to knit along with me or not, I hope that you are having a wonderful fall or autumn where you are. Happy knitting! Bye bye!